Elon Musk, founder of Tesla, Neuralink, SpaceX, and numerous other organizations, became the second person in recorded history to reach a net worth of over $200 billion, after Jeff Bezos. From that point forward, Elon only went on to greater heights, getting to the $340 billion mark in November 2021. However, after a poor year for Tesla stock prices, Elon also became the first person to lose more than $200 billion, seeing his wealth drop to $142 billion in recent months. To understand the situation better, it's important to understand what net worth means. Having a net worth of $340 billion didn't mean that Elon Musk had $340 billion lying around in the form of cash, or in his checking account. Net worth is the total value of all financial and non-financial assets tied to an individual. And for an individual like Elon Musk, it meant having massive ownerships in the stocks of the companies that he's founded. To put it simply, Elon owns the majority stake in his companies. However, 2022 was especially bad for the share price of Tesla in particular. As the per-unit price of the company's shares dropped, the value of Elon's shares also went down. In total, Tesla stocks were worth 65% less at the end of 2022 than they were at the start. According to Musk himself, Tesla has been doing better than ever. He claims that the Federal Reserve was at fault for the loss in his net worth, as they had raised interest rates very high in a very short amount of time. This made the stock market invaluable to the average investor, and caused a massive drop in many stocks. 2022 was also the year Elon Musk purchased Twitter in a $44 billion takeover. To finance this deal, Musk had to sell away a massive chunk of his Tesla stock. Selling stock on this massive scale meant that the value would nosedive due to the high supply in the market. In an episode of the All In podcast released recently, Musk said, "You can get some pretty extreme things happening in a down market." The company even missed their growth targets in 2022, and had to scale back on their production in Shanghai plant in China. Tesla did not meet the estimated delivery numbers calculated by the Wall Street investors earlier this year. There's a growing feeling that the interest of car buyers in Tesla's famed models is shrinking every day. In December 2022, the company announced a rare sale to clear its inventory out. They attempted to offer rebates to buyers buying before the end of the year. These were firstly priced at $3,750 before doubling up to $7,500. The stock plummeted some 37% in December alone. The company had hit a valuation of $1 trillion at the start of 2022, and was more valuable than the next 12 largest automobile manufacturers put together. Today, the company sits at a measly $386 billion in comparison. The Tesla stocks were also massively devalued after its monopoly on the electric cars market was challenged by new movers in the market. Rivian, backed by Ford and Amazon, experienced one of the most successful IPOs in American history in 2021, and has only gone up to give Tesla very strong competition in the EV markets. Similar competition was also experienced from companies like Lucid Motors. The government is actively trying to pursue policy that favor the EV producers over combustion engine cars. This will mean that Tesla's market share will continue to dwindle, and its stock will continue to fall, unless it differentiates itself. In early 2022, Tesla estimated to grow their sales by at least 50%, but supply chain woes meant that this plan had to suffer a setback. The biggest contributor to this was probably the Shanghai plant being forced to scale back its production levels. This eventually led to Tesla not meeting its delivery targets for 2022 either. The Shanghai plant had to adjust to the COVID wave in China, meaning that working hours were limited. Even though Elon claimed that the restrictions were not hurting company targets, Tesla CFO Zachary Kirkhorn said, "We've lost about a month of build volume out of our factory in Shanghai due to COVID-related shutdowns." All this comes at a time when investors at Tesla are not happy with the erratic behavior that Elon Musk has been displaying, especially since his takeover of Twitter. They're pressing the Tesla CEO to focus more on his more valuable and larger company, instead of Twitter. As we discussed, Musk sold nearly $26 billion worth of his Tesla stock to acquire Twitter. Musk, however, has hit back, saying that he's been attending all the major Tesla meetings, even after he acquired Twitter. The social network announced the closure of its offices in San Francisco, California, and ultimately fired more than 3,200 full-time workers at Twitter and brought in executives from other companies, such as Tesla, to impose their stamp on the social network. Musk's idea is to turn Twitter into a profitable business. He therefore implemented a cost-cutting policy and began charging $8 per month for verification of his official accounts. As a whole, Elon Musk wasn't the only billionaire to have lost their wealth in 2022. Jeff Bezos saw his net worth drop $80 billion last year, after it was reported in early April how Amazon stocks had slumped 14%. By July, Bezos had lost 80% of his gains in 2022. Zuckerberg, too, saw his wealth go down by $78 billion, according to Bloomberg. All in all, American businesses lost $660 billion during 2022. Clearly, greater forces were at play. In short, it's easy to say that the American economy, and by extension the global economy, is still reeling from the COVID effects. The Federal Reserve policy to raise interest rates to extremely high levels has meant that loaning money is getting harder by the day for a lot of big companies. Elon Musk's firms were no different in this regard, and he's made his dissatisfaction known to the world. Musk hasn't only suffered on the financial side. His reputation has suffered greatly, especially since his takeover of Twitter. He's often criticized for being really obnoxious, erratic, and straight-up childish for the sort of tweets he puts out. However, with his companies tied so closely to his own reputation, whenever he puts out a ridiculous tweet, his companies lose value. This affects not only his own net worth, but also that of major investors in his companies, who may be losing trust in his leadership. He's not cultivated a very healthy start to life as the owner of Twitter either, earning himself many critics for the mass clear out of employees. Subsequently, he launched a poll on Twitter where he asked if he should resign as head of the social network. More than 17 million people participated and 57.5% voted in favor of him stepping down as CEO of the company. Some people even think of Elon Musk in a ruthless light, since a single tweet from him can manipulate entire markets. His critics accuse him of influencing the share prices of his companies according to his liking, and think that his control is too encroaching. The Tesla stock price was hovering around the $380 a piece mark in early 2022, but was trading at $108 in early 2023. However, Musk will not be backing down anytime soon, and he has announced his intentions to take Tesla back to its former glory. At Tesla's Q4 earnings call, Elon announced that the company intends to produce around 1.8 million units in 2023, which will be a 37% increase than 2022. He believes this will take the stock value back to a reasonable price level. The super high interest rates announced by the Federal Reserve can also be expected to go down as the effects of COVID wane off, but most experts believe it is too early to say when this will happen. Even though Elon lost more money than any other human being, he still claims the second spot on the richest individuals list. His reign at the top ended once Bernard Arnault, the owner of LVMH, got his net worth to $186 billion. LVMH is the luxury goods conglomerate known for operating iconic brands like Louis Vuitton, Tiffany, and Christian Dior. Elon Musk is now planning for the years ahead, and he has announced plans to make cheaper variations of the current Tesla models. Dubbed the new generation, Musk expects the price range of his new cheaper Tesla models to be in the $25,000 range. However, it is still a plan for after 2025, which is when Tesla expects mass production on this ambitious project to start. Musk believes it is strategies like these which will make electric cars more accessible and increase his own market. All in all, great things could be expected from the Tesla CEO, including other interesting projects for Twitter and SpaceX too. In an article by the New York Times, it was revealed that Elon Musk had pitched to investors that he had plans to raise Twitter's revenue to $26.4 billion by 2028. He was also intending to make changes to the workforce, and intended to have upwards of 11,000 workers for Twitter. It is believed that Elon Musk's primary focus is to utilize data licensing rather than advertising, to raise Twitter's revenues. As far as his SpaceX venture is concerned, the $3 billion contract with NASA which was signed back in 2021 will culminate in 2025 and 2027 with 2 separate moon landing missions. And in 2023, SpaceX could launch as many as 100 separate space missions. These will also include the famous Starship and Super Heavy booster rockets, which could be ready very soon. Elon Musk's financial loss wasn't the result of miscalculations or mistakes from him. Rather, his capital was tied really close to projects that are associated very heavily with his own reputation. It can also be said that the COVID period made Elon really rich, because the value of Tesla stocks was oversaturated with high demand. This meant that the market value went above and beyond the actual worth of the company in the present times. However, it isn't necessarily a bad thing, since this means that investors look towards Elon Musk and his companies as being future-proof and safe for investing in times of worries. Elon Musk finds himself in a unique spot, with his work being one of the most revolutionary in recent times. The way he's transformed the market for electric cars and spaceships, he's also expected to make great waves in the social media world too. It must also be noted that despite losing almost $200 billion in net worth, he's only gone down one place in the list of richest individuals around the world. And with an individual like Musk, it's almost a guarantee that he'll retain the #1 spot at some point in the near future. That brings us to the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Once again, make sure to like and subscribe to keep updated, and thanks for watching.